We have some breaking news here on the Chiefs Report. Thanks to our friends over at Manscaped for sponsoring today's show. Halloween is almost here, and hey, you want to stay nice and tidy on Halloween. Maybe you're going to a Halloween party. You find someone dressed up as a cheerleader. I don't know what you're into, but you're going to want to be cleaned up downstairs. Manscaped.com, promo code Chiefs, 20% off plus free shipping. Breaking news alert coming at you. Frank Clark, the Uzi man himself, has been suspended for 2 games for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy. That, of course, stems from his 2 Uzi-related incidents last year. Adam Teicher had the report first. He covers the Chiefs for ESPN. He says Frank Clark has been suspended for 2 games for violating the personal conduct policy. Chiefs are on a bye this week, which means Clark will miss Week 9 against the Titans and Week 10 against the Jaguars. He will return Week 11 against the Chargers, which that's a silver lining because that'll probably end up being an important game. Probably get by against Tennessee and Jacksonville without him. Now, these suspension does stem from the 2 gun-related arrests back in 2021, which is just classic NFL, really. I mean, he gets arrested or charged a couple times last year, and he's just now getting suspended in the middle of a season this year, especially considering he pled out in early September. Why are we sitting here in late October just getting a ruling here? But that is the way the NFL operates. You just never know when they are going to make their decision. You know, at some point, this domino would drop, and today is that day. So what is your one-word reaction to Uzi Clark getting suspended? Let me know in the comments section. And, hey, this might be the last show I get to use Uzi Clark, so that's just how it works. Let me know your one-word reaction to Frank Clark getting suspended. For me, the word's unfortunate. The timing's unfortunate for a couple of reasons. One, you're in the middle of a season. You're trying to get some momentum and, make that push toward the postseason. And 2, Frank Clark is literally coming off his best game in probably over 2 years. He loves to sack Jimmy Garoppolo. We saw that in the Super Bowl a few years ago. We saw it this Sunday, 1.5 sacks, a couple of quarterback hits. He had a 2-play stretch where he just looked dominant again. I mean, he blew past Trent Williams for that safety. He was great. Like I said, best game he's had in over 2 years, I would say, since probably that 2019 season. He had a couple decent games in 2020 and has had moments, of course, but he looked dominant for a moment there, and you're like, where's that been? That's the Frank Clark that we want more of. So the timing of it stinks because now he's going to miss a couple of weeks, so that's not ideal for Kansas City. The good news is it's only 2 games. He'll be back, for the final, what is that going to be, 7 games before the playoffs, whatever the case may be. And then, obviously, the Chiefs will go from there. But it does make you wonder, this team's already been connected to trade rumors. Will they trade for an edge rusher? We'll explore that here in just a few moments. But this is why you subscribe to the channel, because when breaking news drops, when rumors are floating out there, trade deadline coverage is upon us. We're going to cover it all here on the Chiefs Report, all of those storylines and more. So hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications, because as soon as we publish a video or go live, if you have your notifications turned on to all, you will get notified on your smartphone or tablet when we publish a video. So go ahead and subscribe. It's 100% free. It's youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Could the Chiefs trade for a defensive end? Let's kind of shift into that mode with the NFL trade deadline exactly 1 week away. Should Frank Clark's suspension maybe kind of tilt the tables toward doing that, right? I mean, I think this is a team that's certainly in the mix to trade for an edge, and a 2-game suspension isn't monumental, but maybe this makes the decision a little bit easier, or at least get you a little bit more aggressive in considering a trade for an edge rusher. You've got George Karlaftis, the rookie, who's had some moments, but he's not getting home a ton. He's getting some pressure, but not any sacks. Carlos Dunlap, I would expect to step in and get more reps in these next couple of games. Mike Dana's been banged up. You don't have a ton of depth at that edge spot. The Chiefs were already, according to reports, on the defensive end market leading up to the NFL trade deadline. So now you just look at this and you're like, okay, you probably wanted to trade for one anyway. Now you're going to be with that Frank Clark for a couple of games. You don't know how he's going to be when he comes back. I think trading for an edge rusher makes sense. Even if it's not a big-name guy, just getting someone in here that can put his hand in the dirt, get after the quarterback, even if it's just on a rotation basis, I think would be very beneficial to this roster. Do you guys agree? Should the Chiefs trade for a pass rusher, type T for trade or P for pass? I think they should. Again, you could debate the caliber of pass rusher, the amount of assets you want to give up for somebody, but I think Brett Veach needs to pull the trigger and go get a pass rusher. T for trade, P for pass. Give your thoughts down in the comments. While trading for a pass rusher might be up for a debate, getting going with Manscaped shouldn't be, because listen, fellas, as we get older, it's more grooming we got to stay on top of as we get older. You got ear hair, nose hair as well, ear hair. I pointed to the nose first. The Weed Whacker comes with the Performance Package 4.0 along with the Lawnmower 4.0, which is going to keep you nice and trimmed downstairs, 4 adjustable guards, advanced skincare technology. That way you can limit those burns, those cuts, and whatnot. You get the most comfortable boxers on the planet. Ball toner, ball deodorant. It comes with a nice little travel case as well, and you can get it all for less than $100 when you use promo code Chiefs at manscaped.com. Use promo code Chiefs at manscaped.com and stay nice and tidy this holiday season with Halloween just around the corner. All right, we also talked about Brian Burns. We've talked about him a couple times here, and the Chiefs were linked to him before this news even came down, along with the Rams and Philadelphia Eagles. Could the Chiefs now get even more aggressive to try and go get someone like Brian Burns? I would certainly be interested. He's had a really good start to this season, 4 sacks in 7 games. 9 sacks in each of the past 2 years, 7.5 sacks in his first year. He's young. He's talented. He's got another year under contract as the Panthers picked up his 5th-year option. Now, Carolina wants 2 first-round picks at least for him. I might do that. I might be considering to trade 2 first-rounders because Frank Clark's probably not on this team after this year anyway, so what's your future at edge? You've got Karlaftis, who I think is a good player, but I don't know if he's a number 1 edge rusher. You get Burns in here, who is. Karlaftis on the other side. That's a pretty nice 1-2 punch with Chris Jones on the interior, who is leading the NFL in pass rush win rate among interior defensive tackles. So a guy like Brian Burns coming in here would only make this unit even better. Now, some other guys at edge in addition to Burns, Cam Jordan with the Saints. He's a veteran. They could go into sell mode, and he's 32, 33. He could be a guy to go out and get. Same with Robert Quinn, although the Bears did pick up a big win the other night. He's been linked to a lot of trade buzz and speculation as well. Bradley Chubb, that's interdivision, so that seems unlikely, but if the Broncos are desperate enough and just want to get some trade asset or draft assets back, they could be willing to trade Chubb. Rasheem Green would be kind of more in that rotation category that I'm talking about, where he's not an every down player, but maybe he's kind of like Carlos Dunlap type, where he rotates in and gives you some pressures coming off the edge as well. A little bit more on Robert Quinn this year. You know, last year he had that huge season for Chicago with 18.5 sacks. This year hasn't quite been the same. Just 1 sack has not been nearly as effective. So I think you could get Robert Quinn for pretty cheap. I mean, a day 3 pick. Now, he's got a tough contract. The Chiefs would certainly have to ask Chicago to take on some of that contract, I would think. But the Bears might be willing to do that if their books get cleaned up from Quinn starting next year. So that could be an option for Brett Veach as well. So there you have it. Frank Clark suspended for 2 games. Some defensive end targets to keep in mind as the trade deadline approaches. 2-game suspension. We'll see if there's an appeal. They have time to appeal because there is a bye week, so we'll see what Clark and Kansas City decide to do there. Willie Gay obviously had his suspension earlier this year, and now Frank Clark is going to miss a couple of games as well. Hit that sub button here on the Chiefs Report. Like I said, when news drops, we hit you with the video. Appreciate you guys for tuning in here on a Tuesday. We will see you guys tomorrow with the latest Chiefs headlines, news, and rumors.